Okay, so I was going to try to make this video yesterday, but I kept having so many interruptions and different types of noises in the background that it made it very difficult for me to know if I was being heard correctly. Um, so I'm trying to take a moment to think on how I felt it in my spirit to talk about this, but with how everything is going on in the world currently and the direction that we are slowly going in, I think it's very important that people take a moment to really think about their lives, where they are in their lives, what's going on. Like, I do, on the one hand, think that if you've got any kind of debt, I do think you should continue trying your best to work on paying it off. We are. Um, we still have small debts from where we moved out of state just a few years back that accumulated a small amount of debt because we had to use at least one major credit card to help pay for different things and sustain us and all of that. So, by the way, that credit card has been paid off. So that's a testimony. But then we've had car issues. Um, we've had to, I think it's called lease another car. We're currently paying on a car right now that at the time when we got it, we didn't want to get it because we didn't want the added stress at that time. We didn't want the car payment. But we have faithfully paid that car payment every month, even if that meant that we had, like, ourselves had to do without. So, we are trying not to go into any more debt with anything because life is getting hard. The cost of just trying to live right now is like skyrocketing to where I'm not sure how many people can catch up. I don't even know. Like, I was seeing on YouTube the other day that if nurses and people who have, higher paying jobs are struggling, how would the rest of us who don't have that kind of income make it? So it's getting hard. But with that being said, that's a season of life. That is, I would take that as a telltale sign of where we are in society as far as the Bible talks about. Like, guys, I feel like a lot of us are getting so caught up with the stresses of life that we are failing to realize just how close we are getting to the next stage. And yes, it is hard. It's hard, and people are trying to work their butts off. People are trying to, like I was just saying, pay off debts. Like, I still feel like we should try really hard to do what we can, like pay the smallest debt first, get that paid off, and then go down the line. Look at your finances. Is there anything that you can cut out? Like, it's getting hard, but at the same time, those of us who are in Christ, we have Him to fall on. We have Him to lean on. We have Him to go to. So I just want to remind anybody that is also getting caught up in life and everyday stresses and trying to pay on things and trying to just live. We were not meant to just survive. Jesus said himself that he was our provider. So if we could just learn to turn to Him and take even our smallest debts to Him and pray about it, as long as you are still tithing and giving to the church, because that's a key factor there. And it's been really hard for myself to tithe as much as I would like, just for the fact that I'm still sitting in a position of not actually being employed by anybody. That's been hard. So, but if I had like outside income coming in myself, I would be tithing. It's supposed to be 10% of your first fruits, which would be 10% of your paycheck, literally before you start paying bills. And I know that that's going to make some people squirm, but if you really think about it, he's not asking for much. 10% really isn't that much. And here's the other thing. You shouldn't look at it as just giving money away. Like that's money you could have had for groceries. Because what you're not realizing is that not only does God see you being faithful unto Him and trusting Him with the 10% that He asked for, it doesn't end there. He takes that 10% and He multiplies it, because that's what He does. So you're not losing 10% of your pay. You are sowing 10% into His kingdom. And when you invest in His kingdom, He blesses you back way more. That blessing doesn't always look like extra income. It could. He could bless you with extra hours at work that potentially give you the money back plus some that you tithe. But here's the thing. You can't outgive God. You can't. He owns everything. He created this world. So if you ever think that you have given way more than you've ever thought to give, don't get discouraged with that. Be joyful in giving, because you cannot outgive God. I almost dare you to try that. I almost dare you to give a faithful gift to God, pray about it, and ask God if you were to sow a seed towards something out of faith. Watch Him work. But you have to remember, it's on His timing, not yours. So you can't expect like a big payday the next day after giving, like, say, $100 or more, whether you can afford it, quote unquote, or not. It's on His timing, because He knows what's ahead of you before you do. So He knows when to give it back. He knows when to give it. He knows how much to give. He knows what you need before you do. He's just waiting for you to come to Him and ask. So besides that, besides the tithing, just sometimes things happen a certain way. Sometimes, like in my situation, we don't always understand what's going on. But we have to be trusting. We have to not fall and be discouraged and all the things. And it gets hard. It does get hard, because living on one income alone right now is tough. It's very, very, very tough, especially when you've got so much going out. But God is faithful, so remember that. But with talking about how society is moving and what all is going on and how all the prices of things are rising, if you are able, and I've talked about this before in a previous video, so go back and watch that. But if you're able to, slowly stock up on seeds. vegetable seeds, gardening seeds, food seeds. Slowly start stocking up on stuff. Because sooner or later, it's going to get to the point to where you blink and then all of a sudden it's not available anymore. Life as we know it now is not going to be the same. We do not know, just like we don't know the day or the hour that he's going to return. We do not know when these next events are going to occur. We don't know how swiftly things are going to move from them telling me that they don't have pennies to give back for change, so I have to be without my change half the time. But soon it's going to be to where they won't take cash at all. Because we are slowly moving in that direction to where, quote unquote, society is trying to be a cashless society. And the only thing that you're going to be able to use is a card or some other form of payment that they request. Guys, I don't think that this stuff is going to take, 50 plus years to happen. I really don't. We are in 2026. With the way that things are going, we really don't know how many more years before things get so dramatically different that we don't even recognize our everyday anymore. Like we're going to wake up one day and feel like we're in some kind of sci-fi movie that we can't get out of. Life as we know it is not going to be the same. This video is not meant to put fear in anyone, but just to help kind of nudge you awake a little bit so that maybe you understand that the time is now. The time is now to get your affairs in order. The time is now that if there's something you haven't started yet that you've always wanted to do it now. Do it now. Open that shop. Stop letting fear and fear of money and fear of this and fear of that stop you from what God can turn around and bless. Too many times we're trying to do things on our own and wondering why it's not working. Pray about it. Pray about that business. But here's the thing. If you pray about it but then take no action, what have you done? You have to take those steps of faith in order for God to step in and really do what he can do best. Pray about it. Open that shop. Do what you can. Try your best to work on paying off debt so you don't have that lingering over you. Start stocking up on things as you can. Rice, beans, I don't know, some kind of dry food and stuff. Like, look into it. Buy seeds. Just take a moment and think about this stuff. Think about finances. Think about where your life's going. Because I feel like if I haven't done anything more in the next year, what have I done? I'm going to feel like I've wasted a year of my life if something different doesn't happen. Because I feel like I've already lost almost 5 years of my life that could have been different had we not moved out of town. And I don't know whether I should regret that or not. I really don't. Like, a part of me does, because we'd still have a really nice apartment right now if we hadn't moved. But I can't dwell on that. I'm sad about it, but I can't dwell on that. I have to move forward. I have to pray about it. I have to ask God, like, where do you want us? Where's our next place? But at the same time, if I'm praying about it, but I'm not looking into things, I'm not trying to find the job, I'm not trying to, continue this channel to help others out, what am I doing? Life doesn't change if you stand still. You can't get anywhere if you don't move forward. It's just some things to think about, okay? Be blessed, guys. Hang in there. God bless you.